Hello everyone and welcome back to another Snuka 2 video. Sorry I haven't been back in a while. I was on spring break and this video is just going to be about spring break itself. Now, spring break in college basically means you're 3/4 done with your first year or 1/2 done with your second semester. And for me, spring break was pretty good. I wouldn't call it the most relaxing spring break, but it was quite eventful. And it definitely had some very interesting effects on myself, I would say. So, my spring break was 1 week. I spent the 2 weekends, it's like 2 weekends and a week in between. Spent the 2 weekends, majority with my family, pretty good. You know, just some classic family time, watched some movies, um, just ate together, classic family stuff. But the time in between was pretty useful as well. One day I went to New York with some of my college friends, and then the other day I as another day I went to visit one of my high school friends at their college, and another 3 nights I went to visit another one of my high school friends at their college. So it was very, very eventful. But the problem with it was that I was extremely, extremely tired. Like, first of all, after, like, my sleep schedule in college was not that good towards the end of spring break, right? And then, after that, having, like, 5 consecutive days of travel was really not good for me, especially since the sleeping conditions really varied. And so I was not getting very good sleep, basically. And so basically, by the time I got to um, the last place I was going to, I was like so tired and I was like a bit dead during the remainder of the trip. But, you know, I still had a lot of fun. Now, I think coming back from that though, it's made me, I don't know how to describe it. Like, before spring break, I was like literally on a roll, right? I felt like I had everything figured out. Everything was going great. You know, I was having fun. I was doing stuff. I was like being productive. Like, I was just having a great time overall, right? And then, but then after that, after coming back, it's just been like almost like my flow has been disrupted, you know. And I think there's a couple reasons for this. I think one of the reasons for this is like I started to doubt if I was doing college right. And there's no right way to do college, right? Like, when I visited all my other college friends, I think their experiences were quite different from mine in terms of like how they hung out with their friends, and like when they did what they did. Everything like that was a bit different. And so after seeing that, I was like, you know, am I optimizing my own college experience? Like, can I make it better? And I started to be a bit worried about that, even though I shouldn't be, because I was having fun before. And the second thing that happened, I think, is my lack of sleep really caught up with me. And, like, one thing I've realized is when I don't get enough sleep, I get sad. Like, it's almost perfectly correlated. And I think maybe it's a placebo from me reading the Why We Should Sleep book that talks about how not sleeping enough can harm your emotional regulation. But I genuinely think it's like quite noticeable. Like, when I don't get enough sleep, my perception of everything becomes so much more negative. And I think it's just because I don't have enough sleep, number one. And number two, like, my energy is just so low, I don't engage properly with things around me, which is bad. So, yeah, that's basically how spring break has made me feel. Because now I'm like, I think a bit. It's only been one day. This is my first day back from spring break, so I can't really be making too many statements, I guess. But I'm just like, going back more to my first semester emotions was just not good. Because if any of you watch, I honestly don't know how much I talked about my first semester on this channel, but my first semester was not the best for me, honestly. And my second semester had been very smooth. So, like, I think as long as I just get back into the flow of things, I think it'll be good. Now, something concerning I thought was like, maybe I was so much less sad, like so much more happier second semester because I was doing so many things and so I didn't have any time to think. I think thinking actually kind of makes you sad. Especially, well, not, like, thinking is obviously good, but if you just think too much, you'll become really sad. Because I feel like there's always more things you can think about, more things you can worry about, and the more you think, the more you worry, the more anxious and sad you'll be. And so, I don't know if it was the right choice to be so occupied second semester because I really didn't have time to think. If you look at my journal entries, for the entirety of second semester, I don't think I had a long reflective one. Like, they were all very short, very just recapping what I did that day. And I basically didn't think. And I don't know. I think it's a very fair way to live, too. Just like not thinking as much and just glossing over life a bit. Because, like, once you, at least for me, once I start thinking about it, once I start, like, thinking, okay, is this actually, like, good? Am I actually happy? Then I start have doubts, and then I start making up things. Not making up things, but, like, overanalyzing sometimes, and just, like, you find things to, you pick out things that you need to do better. Well, that's good if you pick out things you need to do better at, but you just nitpick and start to be like, this is not good, this is not good, this is not good, and then it leads you down a bad hole. But I also like thinking a lot. It makes you feel more whole and complete, like you're recognizing every single part of yourself and, like, have full, not control, but you have a very full grasp on yourself and what you're doing. Because if you don't think, then you kind of just, like, do things without really knowing why you do them. You're just like, oh, I guess I'll do this. But yeah, that's what I really wanted to say. I definitely should do more of these videos. They're really fun to do. I also have, like, private audio recordings I do sometimes, just for myself, on, like, way more private matters than Waipan Shnaka 2. I was just listening to one of them. I made one right before I went to college. And I was like, wow. Like, I dressed myself in it. I was like, oh, if you're listening in the future, you know, blah, 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 I hope, blah, blah, blah. It was really nice. And, like, I think Shnaka 2 is kind of like that. I mean, although I'm not directly talking to myself in the future, it's kind of implicit, like, I'll be watching these someday in the future, or someone else will, and then it's just a nice snapshot of where I am, and I think that's very helpful to have. As long as I need to, where did my consistency go, though? The consistency I once had when I was still in high school. I think I can get it back. Anyways, that's all I really have to say for today. I had a great spring break. I hope this second half of second semester can go just as smoothly as the first, if not even more. But that's all I really have to say. I have a giant list of topics prepared. I really want to get through them. Oh, I also got a new computer, but I'm not playing on my new computer. That's another story for another day. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow. Goodbye.